What does that mean? I want to be treated fair or fairly. Sean Spicer, RNC Communications Director. Sean, what do you think he was getting at?
I'm not really sure, Neil. I think all of these candidates that have and are running understand that the process is very simple. You go through the 50 states and 6 territories in the district, try to collect as many delegates as you can, and whoever gets to 1,237 delegates first becomes the nominee. That's a majority of the delegates. It's a simple majority of the total number of delegates that are available. And whomever achieves that becomes the nominee. It's plain and simple. It's out in the open for all to see. And I think our job here at the RNC is to make sure that we have a fair and open, transparent system that everyone can watch, see, and occur, that as you go through the different states to accumulate these delegates, there's no question on how the process was undertaken.
So when Donald Trump says, if I have a big enough lead and I'm hundreds of delegates ahead, paraphrasing here, the closest guy, Ted Cruz for the time being, I should get it. You say what?
I say that, as I said before, I mean, it takes a majority. It takes 1,237 delegates, not 1,236, not 1,235, not 1,100. Whomever gets the majority first becomes the nominee. That's it. It's not a minority or a plurality. It's a majority of the delegates. Whomever achieves that gets it. And it's plain and simple. And that's why the 2 steps that are part of the process are important. One is the allocation of the delegates, and then second is the selection of the individuals that actually will sit in those seats. And so it's actually a 2-step process. You go, you get them, and then you get your people to run for those slots.
Do you... Again, this is just talk out there that you know, Senator Cruz has worked very, very hard to work on these uncommitted delegates or not quite committed to candidate delegates, but extending that to those who already are committed. Does that latter part worry you? Is that going against the rules?
No, not at all. In fact, that's part of the rules. It's part of the process. In other words,
Donald Trump
about
did the same thing.
90-something%.
Sean, Donald Trump did the same thing to go after committed, let's say, Cruz delegates.
No. So just to be clear, it's the job of these campaigns. You go out and you win the delegates, and then you get your person to run. And what you want is to have them maintain a commitment of you for as long as possible, hopefully through all of the balloting.
Right.
But that's part of the process, right? And it's the same way that last cycle Ron Paul went out and won delegates in Utah and Maine after Romney had gone and won some of those states. Part of it is to get your people to run. Now, in most of these states, they're bound for 1 or 2 rounds of balloting. What we want to do is to ensure throughout this process that the people that you get to fill your slots are going to be faithful to you to the entire process, and that's what I think you're seeing both of these campaigns. Both of them, in fact, all 3 of them, because Governor Kasich's campaign is doing the same, which is going out and trying to help make sure that the people who are running for delegates are people that support you most of all the 3 candidates seeking the nomination.
You know, you allude to the possibility, if you don't have the 1237, obviously the race drags on a little bit, you have multiple ballots. And all 3 of the surviving candidates have argued it should be one of them because they've been in the race. Now, we know historically when it fails on multiple ballots, oftentimes parties, Republican, Democrat as well, will go outside those candidates who competed to an acceptable alternative candidate. Can you see that happening?
I think that's highly, highly unlikely. Look, the people that are getting elected to fill these slots are, by and large, either supportive of Mr. Trump or Senator Cruz, and to some degree, Governor Kasich. So I think it would be very hard to imagine a scenario where they abandoned their individual and went outside that group. It's just, it really, in this day and age, does not seem like somebody would have gone through all that trouble to run for one of those slots to represent a candidate and then not see them through. Of course, it's possible, but I just don't see that scenario emerging. We feel very confident that one of the 3 individuals currently in the race will become our nominee.
Sean, always good having you. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Neil.
Sean Spicer.